Welcome to your Daily Revolution podcast. Today's topic, give yourself permission. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Let's go! This is your daily revolution. Living prosperity, we show you how to do it. There's no luck about it, we got the strategic blueprint.
What is up, my friends? It is raining, so if you hear a little bit of pounding in the background, we got rain hitting the truck right now. Just shooting a podcast before I step into the office. And I wanted to say thank you for listening here. Listen, if this is enjoyable, if this helps you, if it's valuable, take a screenshot, tag me, forward it to someone, share this with someone who could use it. Because I'm not just talking to adults. I'm not just talking to business owners. I'm talking to human beings. I'm talking to people who want to be great. I'm talking to people who want to have an amazing life and people who want to be wealthy. Not just financially wealthy, yes, but spiritually wealthy and physically wealthy and relationally wealthy. I'm talking to people who just want to have amazing lives and create results that matter. So if this helps you, share it. I'm going to talk about this concept of permission. Recently, I've gone back on my social media game, posting and interact with people. And occasionally I get someone who will say something to the tune of, who do you think you are? Or who told you that you could do this? Or like, what are your credentials? Right? People they ask these questions, some of them out of hate, some of them out of jealousy, some of them will ask strictly out of just curiosity. Right? Because I go by this name, the Reverend of the Revolution, and I've written some books and I've got a podcast and we run events and I speak on stages and I've positioned myself in the marketplace as someone who could truly make a difference for people. And we have nearly a decade of results. Hundreds and thousands of people who have experienced real radical results, like transforming their life. And I remember back in, I think it was 2014, it's been a while, but I was just coming into the space and one of my mentors looks at me and he's asking me these questions because I'm having a lot of doubt. You ever been that way? Where you have doubt and you doubt yourself and you compare yourself and you wonder, man, am I good enough to do this? Like who's gonna read my book that I write? Who would even listen to a podcast that I do? Like who would ever pay me money? Why? And we can go into these phases where we just have extreme doubt and uncertainty and we have feelings of inadequacy. And my mentor looked at me and he's asked me this question, which has stuck with me. Again, it's right 8 years later. He said, when are you going to give yourself permission? And it hit me. He's like, Setema, when are you going to give yourself permission? And I sat there and I kind of started to get emotional because I was looking for someone out there to give me permission. I was waiting for someone out there to say, yes, Setema, you can go do this thing. Yes, Setema, right? Whatever word you want to put in there. And sometimes I used to use the word like, am I worthy to do this? And I'm going to have you consider everyone's worthy to do whatever they want to do. You got to know that. You're worthy already. Now, whether or not you're skilled or competent is a whole nother ballgame. And I'll never forget when my mentor said, when are you going to give yourself permission? Why don't you just give yourself permission? And I'm like, well, how do I do that? He's like, why don't you just say, I am. I can do this. I will develop the skill sets. I will develop the mindsets. I belong. And then he said, go put in the time. Now, my question to you is, when will you give yourself permission? You want to be wealthy? No one out there is going to come give you the permission to be wealthy. You want to be physically fit? Stop waiting for someone out there to say, you can do it. What if you just gave yourself permission? What if you just said, I'm going to give myself the permission to be great? And look, I get it, right? There's a lot of feelings of inadequacy when we start to build a business, when we want to go do maybe a bodybuilding competition or physique competition or a Tough Mud or a Spartan, Ironman, half marathon. Sometimes you just need permission from yourself just to walk into a gym or even to go buy the new car that you want to buy when you're trying to break free of this thing we call old self-gravity, like who we've been trained, taught, and educated to believe. So when will you give yourself permission? I want to share with you one thing that has allowed me to access and give myself permission, right? To go build multiple 7-figure into the 8-figure businesses. That's what we're striving to do, is to really go make a difference on this planet with the business that we're in, which is coaching, speaking, teaching. I coach people for a living. That's what I do. If you get around me long enough, I love that meme out there, those quotes. It's like, if you spend enough time with me, I will brainwash you into believing that you do belong, that you were, that you can do anything, that you're incredible, you're amazing. And that's the truth. So how do you give yourself permission? I'm going to give you one thing to just help you get started so that you can give yourself permission to go be great. You can give yourself permission to go earn money. Give yourself permission to go put 6 figures in your bank account, or 7 figures, or 8 figures. Give yourself permission to go buy the second, third home. Give yourself permission to go try out for the play at school, to go try out for something new. Give yourself permission. And it's this, ready? 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers and Blink. David and Goliath, a number of books he wrote, but in one of his books, he talks about this concept of 10,000 hours. About 10,000 hours is when people become experts. And if you want to give yourself permission, you ready? Ready? Go log hours. Go put in the hours. It's like the rock song, right? It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work. Put in the hours and take what's hours. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You want permission, but you're going to sit on the couch and eat a bag of chips every night and play your video games. You want permission, but you're going to sit there and wait till you have enough money in the bank account. You want permission, but you're waiting till what? And the truth is, you are avoiding the very thing that would give you permission, which is putting in the hours, getting your reps in. So what would happen if you just went and put in 10,000 hours? Everything you do every day, you're either putting in an hour towards the promised land, towards the life you want to live, towards the legacy you want to leave, towards more wealth, more health, more happiness, or you're putting in hours towards being a single, old, overweight person who's sitting on a gross, disgusting couch eating an old bag of Pringles that's expired and wondering, how come I'm unhappy? Hours. So physically, spiritually, relationally, financially, just see how this principle lands. In the physical domain of health and fitness, do you put the hours in? And you're not going to go gain a 6-pack or get super strong in like one workout or even 1 month or maybe even 1 year. There's a consistency of hours that if you put in, your body gets stronger, you lift heavier weights, you run faster, you run longer, you have more energy. 10,000 hours. That gives you permission, because once you have experience, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel great. And it naturally, you start to see that, yeah, I'm actually pretty good at this spiritually. Meditation, prayer, scripture studying. It's one of those things you'll never know until you actually do it. And I have a very deep testimony, a personal conviction of the power of prayer, of meditation, of studying the word of God, of worshiping in a church building. I know some people are against religion, and, that's okay. What works for me is what works for me, and I love it. Relationally, last night was a Monday night, so it's Tuesday morning when I'm shooting this podcast. I took my wife to Ruth's Chris last night. I went to Ruth's Chris on a Monday night. People are like, why would you do that? Oh, we had some friends in from town, but I'm like, let's date night at Ruth's Chris. Let's go to a good little restaurant. Let's support our local businesses. Let's go have a good time. Had dinner, great conversation, hugged and kissed, held hands, fell asleep cuddling. I mean, I'm putting in the hours. Also yesterday, I took my sons to the gym, training for a good 1 hour in the gym, pushing my boys, kind of yelling at them, pushing them. I know they're uncomfortable because dad is all over them in the gym. But again, for me, it's an investment into my family. It's hours upon hours upon hours. And then, of course, financially. If you want to be wealthy, put in the hours, develop your leadership, develop your skills, develop your ability to market, to sell, to influence, and to persuade. I love what I do. Give yourself permission. How? Go get experience. How? Go put in hours upon hours upon hours and do the right, necessary, required work. And if you'll do that, keeping that vision in mind, keeping those future goals and outcomes in mind, there's nothing you can't have in life. There's nothing you can't do. You want a brand new home? Go get it. How? Put in the hours. Go put in the work. You want a body that's stronger and more physically fit? Go put in the hours. Go put in the work. Give yourself permission. You want to have greater purpose and spiritual alignment? Go put in the hours. And of course, you still raw as a human being. Give yourself permission. No one's going to come give it to you. I'm telling you, do you want me to give you permission? Okay, here we go. You have permission. Now what? Go do the work. Go do the work. My friends, if this has been helpful, if you enjoy the podcast, and if you want some greater in-depth coaching to help you to move your life forward, Go to setemagali.com. That's my first and last name, setemagali.com. Go check out The Huddle. It's one of our, The Huddle is where everything begins. I go weekly, like just a weekly live call with the Zoom, with the whiteboard, and I coach and I teach and I answer questions and I help people to move life forward. So check that out, setemagali.com. Go check out the program called The Huddle. And if you like the podcast, I give you permission to go share it. Have an amazing day, my friends. Give yourself permission. Listen up and listen. Go live your mission. Let's go.
Let's go. This is your daily revolution. Live in prosperity. We show you how to do it. There's no luck about it. We got the strategic blueprint. This is your daily revolution. You already know. And if you don't, then check my resume. Turning pressure into possibilities every day. We all can win and live our unique purpose. We change our mindsets and put the work in. This is your daily revolution. Daily revolution. Revolution. Your daily revolution podcast.